besties, and welcome back to another winter season episode of the Paddock Girls podcast. We are back at it with a long overdue book club book review, and we are reviewing none other than Lights Out by Aven Ellis. Not to be confused by Lights Out by Nevessa Allen, because the titles are the same, and no, they are not the same book. This book is absolutely perfect for fans of racing and swoon-worthy romance with thrills both on and off track. So I am just going to quit yapping and we are going to jump right on into this book.
All right, you guys already know. PGP Book Club comes with a quick synopsis, and this is probably the only spoiler-free moment. So after this, stop listening if you haven't read it, read the book, come back, and listen to the episode. You have been warned. Now, again, we will keep this as spoiler-free as possible and as short as possible, but we do want to do the book justice. Now, we all know breaking into sports television is tough, but when Isla, Diane, okay,
Isla Fisher.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Thank you, Rachel, for sharing the brain with me.
Thank you. Now, Isla finds herself in a secret relationship with one of the hottest Formula One drivers in the world, and the real challenge begins. As Formula One content creator and rookie sports reporter, she couldn't believe her luck when she was offered a freelance gig at the Miami Grand Prix. And then enter Collins' motor driver, Caleb Collins, who becomes an unexpected part of her assignment. Isla realizes there's more at stake than just a dream job. And then when Caleb wants to date, Isla can't help but to wonder why he decided to trust her, a member of the media that he himself hates. With her own career and professional reputation on the line, she is questioning if dating Caleb is worth the potential consequences.
Now, I loved the concept of this book because we've had other kind of like influencer driver relationships, but the fact that she actually was somebody who had like a real reporter background, I feel like she was just like a whole different vibe wise, because you guys know we love a vibe check on our book reviews. I feel like this book is for a very specific type of romance reader. Personally, this is just my personal opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. It feels, dare I say, chiclety for me, not to be mistaken with Chiclet the gum. It just feels very chick literature vibe, and that's not a bad thing, but the vibe just feels very different to other things that I feel like we've read for PGP Book Club. But again, that's just my personal opinion.
Okay. I would definitely call this a contemporary romance. It does lean, I would say, way more Formula One than the other books we've read, where F1 has been almost more like a backdrop. I feel like this one is way more intermixed into the storyline. But contemporary romance, I think, is like the genre I would give it.
Agree with Charles. I feel like it's like contemporary with F1 kind of has the setting and then a little bit more information into F1, which I don't really mind at all. I liked it. It's cute.
I am 100% bored with you guys. It definitely, like Rachel had mentioned, explained F1 like well enough into like the romance part. But for me, again, this might just be me and a me and a me problem. Just cat mom things. So I don't know if it's just a me problem, and it probably is. It felt like a semi-young adult romance where it's not like teenagers, young adult, but more like early 20s kind of adult, like a little innocent, like spicy.
I think they had just graduated, no?
Yeah, like she just graduated college, like type vibes.
Yeah.
It might be a me problem, but you guys will see like later on the episode where my mind was at reading the entirety of this book.
I will say, in terms of like content and trigger warnings, I feel like I have not a single content or trigger warning to give people. Like the bare minimum, if I'm really trying to stretch it, would be like issues with the media, if you even remotely consider that a trigger warning.
Or the sexism at the beginning when she
Yeah,
first met Caleb. Yeah,
like there was
one scene.
Yeah,
and there's about like a 5-second reference to like suicidal thoughts of a side character, but it's not even like really delved into.
Yeah.
No.
But it's pretty much like I think anybody could pick this up and not have a single problem in terms of like any type of trigger.
Yeah, I completely agree. I will say it took me a few chapters to like get into the story. I don't know why. It took a while to like hit for me. But I do think something that kind of was the reason was it threw me off. Like the way that she describes Caleb's personality, and we'll get into him, he's one of the main characters. Like he's supposed to seem like this very reserved person, and I feel like there was supposed to be more of a build up to his personality coming out. There is no build up. That was straight up. That was quick. That was like, what was that book we read? Is it Ride With Me? What is it?
Faster?
Yes. Just for a second, I was just like, oh, we already like each other. Like we're in this.
Hey.
So, but the
Who
rest was
doesn't-
actually really realistic.
doesn't love a little insta love in their book though. Like
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
it's
But it
kinda,
it
like,
didn't fit
common.
the character she was trying to make in my head.
No, I agree.
I was in the same boat. I wish there had been a bit more build up to their meeting and interactions. I feel like the other book I was thinking of too was Not So Fast, where it was like instant connection. It felt slightly more realistic than some of the F1 romances or sports romances in general that I've read, in a sense of like her career path, but I'll get into that later too. I will also say the book did have me like giggling and kicking my feet a bit, which I love.
I also have to agree with Chelsea in terms of like it took me a little bit to get into this book, but I also honestly I cannot lie, I was a little bit of in a reading funk when I started this. So I think that's part of the reason that it took me a little bit to get into the book. But I have to give major kudos because the setting of this book felt so realistic that once I got pulled in, I was so in. Like, once I hit my stride, I just like cruised through it. It's the heavy sigh for me.
I mean, no disrespect to like Aven. Like, I'm so appreciative that we were able to like read this and get the books gifted to us and everything, but I have to be honest because I would not be credible if I was not. I was very close to DNF in this book. I was very close many times. I remember texting the girls being like, I'm just struggling with this. I was worried it was gonna put me into like a reading like funk, all that stuff. Like I was just like, it felt like I was like pulling teeth with myself. I just couldn't with Isla, her character, her narration, like the whole inner monologue. Well, again, we'll get into this soon. I just couldn't. I just wasn't vibing with it, and I feel like for me, like I vibe pretty easily with like a lot of books. But with this one, I just couldn't. I will say the saving grace was Caleb. I liked his character a lot, and again, we'll talk about him later on. But it was just, I don't know. It's just I just wasn't vibing with the book, and again, clear, it's a me problem at the end of the day.
I mean, I kind of understand where Mel is coming from. Like she said, we'll get into Isla a little bit more and some of our
Characters.
but some of our
Thoughts.
issues with her character or like her inner monologues, because I do understand 100% where Mel is coming from. But like I said, I feel like the book had so much potential because the tropes alone pulled me in and made me go, oh my god, I think I'm gonna love this. And then I was kind of like, okay, I don't love this as much as I did, but again, the tropes have so much great potential. There's so many fun tropes. We've got media driver, we have a secret romance, there's a workplace romance in there. Dare I say there's a little bit of forced proximity, and per usual, one of my personal favorite tropes in any romance. I don't care what version of romance it is. I am a sucker for a he falls first trope. I think most of us are a sucker for a he falls first trope because what's not to love about it? I'm sorry. Like, I have
We
no
all
notes
love
on a
that
he falls
yearning.
first. Like, it is a surefire way to make me read a book.
Okay, I will say, I usually don't read that many books for some reason. I don't know. They just don't fall into my lap of like he yearns first or whatever. So it was interesting because I was like, oh, this man is like really extra. Caleb was really nice to me. Like Caleb, so if you're reading this book, he's going to be the main guy for your story. He's an F1 driver for Collings Motors. Yes, he is a Nepo baby, but not a bad one. Okay. And I would say his character is very serious. He's going through some media trauma, like PTSD with the media, if you will. And he's still somehow like a very grounded character. Sometimes the description would give me George Russell vibes, and like I will, I get it, but I don't know why I feel like there's a trend sometimes where authors kind of have a George Russell vibe. And I can confirm it now after interviewing with them that they were thinking of George Russell. So like that's
Love
it.
when
That's
I'm
it.
right.
But there was only one moment. There was one moment that I did not like Mr. Caleb, and I was in the scene in the hotel where he blows up, and I was like, I would have kicked your butt and thrown some pillows at you.
I would have walked out, but
Yeah, like, that pissed me off a little bit. But I was also like, I get it, PTSD, trauma. It was a reaction response. It was interesting how she wrote it, but like everything felt realistic. Nothing felt too dramatized. So I like Caleb. I love his little character, and I love how like he banters. I didn't write that down, but I love his banter. He also had me kicking and giggling my feet. Like I was just like, oh, this is so cute.
His banter is good. He definitely feels like reserved, likely again due to the media issues in the past that are unresolved, which is mentioned at one point that he should talk to his therapist about it. And I was like, my guy, you should have done that a lot sooner. Like this realization, I'm like, why did this should have been something you were talking about in therapy while it was happening?
Why did it take
like,
this
right
long?
after? Why? Yeah.
Why does it take
Therapist
this
fired,
girl?
by the way?
Like,
therapist
sir.
fired. You as
Well,
a therapist.
I'm like, if you're like, in there, it would make a little bit more sense to me if he was like, I should get a therapist and talk about this. But he has one.
Yeah.
Exactly. And why, as a sports therapist, you didn't say anything?
No, literally.
Again, it's why does it take a pretty girl for somebody to realize that they have to work through their bullshit?
To be fair, his therapist is also a man, and he's a man.
That's right.
So we can just chalk it up to men. I will say, I do think the George Russell vibes is because George Russell is essentially like the most quintessential British man one could think of. Thus, when writing a British F1 driver, I feel like he just kind of appears.
He fits.
It just
appears.
He just appears.
He comes down in the bubble to every writer.
Like Linda.
Put me in
like
there.
the Linda. It's
Put me in there.
It's
he just like appears like Quinn Hughes' ghosts.
Exactly.
If you know, you know.
If you know,
Just
you know.
Comes in.
It just appears. He's just too much. He's just too British.
Yeah. I am going to echo everything else everybody has already said. I adore Caleb. I have to say, I found it really refreshing to have an author actually include a sports psychologist in a book, because it's like pretty widely known that it's a common thing within professional sports. So the inclusion of it just was really nice to see. I agree with Rachel 100%. He definitely should have dealt with his media issues sooner, but at the same time, I'm also like, I kind of understand it's a hard thing to do, but it is what it is. Like I said, I am a sucker for a he falls first trope. So seeing him go from like standing up for Isla in the beginning of the book with the sexist comments that she overheard, and then pursuing her romantically so hard just like warmed my heart, because honestly, let's face it, people who doesn't love a man who's going to go after what he wants. I will say he kind of gave me George Russell mixed with a little bit of Lance Stroll. I really need a F1 romance author to give me a British driver who is not inspired by George Russell. Jensen Button is literally right there, people. I mean, come on.
You have a point.
Amy, I've already asked for you to write a book.
This is your
To buy a
chance.
house first.
This is it.
This is your chance. Hey, this book can help buy your house.
Facts.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Hey, listen, I wouldn't mind a Jensen Button inspired character.
I mean, who wouldn't? It's just
So Bestie,
Button.
do it. Do it. Do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. No, I am with Amy here. I did like Caleb a lot more than Isla. I do want to note, every time she described him in the book, she always mentioned his piercing blue eyes. I would like to say, the book's on my shelf already, but like him on the bookmark here, and if you look at the book cover, his eyes are not blue.
Oopsies.
I was very upset about that, but you know what? That's the artist's problem, not mine.
Wait, no, they're a little blue.
They're a little blue. They're like they're kind of like a darker version of mine, where they're very like gray blue. I see what you mean though. If it's like they're not like piercing blue.
Yeah,
the eyes are like a light gray blue.
Yeah,
like, I was expecting
right now,
like this
gray.
blue. I was expecting like this.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Same.
a nice intense.
Like, oh god.
Yeah.
There was something I was just watching where the guy's eyes were like super blue, and everyone was making
Aqua.
fun. And
Like a
everyone was
scary
just like
blue
making
Night
fun of
Walker.
it. Yes, that's what.
That makes sense. That tracks.
All these scenes, and then his eyes are just like there, and you're like,
goddamn.
Like Jacob, not Jacob, Jasper.
Yeah,
Jasper.
His eyes are just so
Jasper.
blue. No, I see what you mean though, but his eyes are a little bit more of like a gray blue.
Yeah. But besides the point, he saved the whole book for me. He needed to go to therapy like a million years ago, but like I also like how he always made time for his girl. He was always like very like thoughtful of making sure like, yeah, we're gonna date in secret, but this still can be like very meaningful and like putting in the effort, and it just goes to show people if they wanted to, they would. Again, if they wanted to, they would.
Yes.
But I just didn't like his whole reaction to Isla wanting to go public and sake for her career, because like, do you not care about her career? Like, she deserves to be her own person, just like how you respected your sister's decision to like, you know, step up, like go up the ladder herself, instead of like using her nepotism to like go straight to the top. Hello? Like, she's better than me.
I mean, I also really liked that he also was very big on like, if she needed to do something within F1, he was like, I'm gonna help you do it. Like, giving her the tour. Like, he was not like pawning her off onto other people within the team. He was like, I'm gonna make this introduction for you. I'm gonna show you around. Like,
and no huffing puffing. Super happy to do it.
He was like, I'm happy to help. Like, it was just really refreshing to not see a driver be like, oh yeah, here's my.
And he wasn't expecting anything from it. He like was doing
it.
Like,
I love how much
the goodness of his heart.
Yeah.
I will say my opinion is different from Amy and Melissa. On I don't know if Rachel like agrees with me on Isla, but Isla Foley, if it is the same name as what we use down here for the lawyers, Isla Foley is our female MC. That makes sense a little bit. She's a girl who studied journalism. She recently graduated, which is probably why she feels so young and dumb to Melissa and Amy. And she wants to like.
Not fully developed.
I am
not really there yet
compared to her.
That frontal lobe's not fully developed yet.
No, but she's just trying to make her mark. You know, she's like she wants to do these F1 interviews. She wants them to be fun, less stat focused, which I did find interesting. But the way she words it in the book kind of makes sense, which is like there's already so many people trying to do that. I might as well. Yeah. This is working for me. Stick with this.
This was like her niche type deal.
Yeah, and she was running with it.
And I like it. She does do this mostly off a network called the Downforce Network, which I thought was cute. And her social media, where she has 400,000 followers. Like, girl. That's a big number. Oh, she's basically an influencer, which I think is funny because there's like a point in the book that I didn't write in my notes, but I'm like, why is she just now getting sponsorships when you already have 400,000 followers? Anyways, besides the point. But her and Caleb, they meet on the work assignment that she gets sent on, and it honestly flies from there with no breaks. But I liked her. I did. I didn't mind her. There was some parts where I was a little cringe with like the story writing because the romance was a little bit too much for me. If it happened to me, I'd be like, ick. But it was cute. I liked Caleb too much. I think that's the problem.
Yeah. I feel like that happens a lot with books, though, where you're like, if this was to happen to me in real life, I'd be like,
Ick.
Yeah, I'd be running
Complete
for the damn
ick.
hills.
But in a book,
what? But in a book,
It's different.
It's different. I didn't hate Isla. I didn't mind her at all. I don't know if she'd be like my favorite female character,
right?
but I
We've
liked
had
her. I
better
liked
ones.
that she was standing up for herself. She does it in a few different parts. Like, she really stood her ground, and I feel like, I don't want to say we don't get that a lot in female main characters, because we are getting it more, but there
Mhm.
has been a consistent trend of like, she'll stand up for herself maybe once, and it'll be like towards the
Mhm.
end after she gains her confidence, and Isla came out and she's like, excuse you, hello.
Yeah, no.
I thought
That's
it was
really
cool.
Like from the
sexist.
jump.
Like, you see,
like,
that was
from
a
the
cringe
jump.
scene. I wouldn't do that, but
I
in a
didn't
book,
mind it.
I'm like, you know what? Yeah,
I didn't mind it, but I
go
also, in my job, I do, because I work in like finance. I have a
Mhm.
lot of guys that are like, and I'm
Not
like,
men.
I have to gentle parent you, and I'm like 10 years younger than you. Okay?
That's so sad.
Like, we don't,
That's so sad.
it's, yeah. I also think, just like having worked retail, I really wish I could stand up to people all the time, and can't.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
valid.
Like, I feel like that was just kind of refreshing for me, I guess. I don't know. I haven't been reading a lot lately, so that could be part of it too. I do also agree that the relationship was pretty much all cast no breaks after it got started, which was a lot at some points, but it was cute. I liked her. I didn't mind her.
I will say, Isla had some redeeming qualities, some moments where I was just like, I really don't like her as a character. I have to give some major credit to the accuracy of her character as a journalist slash content creator. A lot of it felt really accurate, aside from the fact that she was constantly always introducing herself by her full name in
That's
every
really
clip
funny.
that she filmed, because I'm like, if you're a content creator, you don't do that. All of us follow F1 content creators. None of them do that.
It made sense for the news segments, but when I noticed she was doing it for her socials too, I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's where
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
scratching my head, like, I don't get this.
How
Like,
realistic is this?
Yeah.
it's
the only
didn't
thing I
make
can think
total
of is that
sense.
was like her, what's that called? Her gimmick.
I
Mm.
guess.
Yeah, her like niche. Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
little-
Because like, you know how people
could
have
be.
gimmicks?
Yeah.
Like,
Her
Ed sits in a
tagline.
little like Ferrari
I mean,
car every time that he does a
like,
video. Like, no one else is gonna do that. But
Like,
Like Madeline
she
White,
says-
she always says "see you tomorrow." That's her tagline. It's at the end of her videos,
Yeah.
but that's her tagline.
Right.
It's like "see you
that's
tomorrow."
the only reason I could think of her getting
Yeah.
away with that and having 400,000 followers.
Yeah, no, and
I will
honestly,
say-
Courage.
The other thing I can think of as to why she has 400,000 followers is if she went to school in Georgia, the likelihood that she went to an SEC school, very high.
It's high.
The likelihood that she's the daughter of a lawyer, the likelihood that she was in an SEC sorority, also very high. Very
Yeah.
easy to get a lot of followers from.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have so
No,
many people I
that's-
followed in my sorority that I like pop up and I'm like, I don't remember you. Because you just follow everybody
Yeah.
and then you forget.
I mean, I will
Makes
say,
sense.
me pointing out the fact that she was constantly always introducing herself is me being like super nitpicky.
Yeah.
But that's just because I like was trying to find one thing that I was like, I really like it just kind of irked me, where I was like,
Yeah.
I just don't get it. Like, it didn't make sense. Even
Yeah.
when she was doing stuff for the Downforce Network, I'm like, if you were hired by like F1 TV to do something, like, they're going to put your name on a badge on screen. You don't need to introduce yourself by your full name. You could be like, hey guys, it's Isla. Like, the full
Yeah.
name just kind of like felt a little
the
odd to
first
me.
and last, yeah.
But I also really, really appreciated that she was not willing to give up her career for a man, and she wanted to stand on her own 2 feet within F1 and not just be known as Caleb's girlfriend. I have to 120% agree with Rachel and Chelsea. That relationship was all gas, no brakes. That thing moved faster than an F1 car. But I honestly don't always mind that in books, especially if I'm looking for something to get me out of my head. Like we said, if it was real world, I'd be concerned beyond belief.
Straight and simple. I just didn't like her. Again, it could be because, I'm older. I don't want to disclose like
Your
how old I
frontal
am.
lobe is fully developed.
It's been fully developed for like the past like 10 years.
Yeah.
I think it's just like it's like little things like Amy has said, like the way she like always like introduced herself was like kind of like but like also like the inner monologue, it just didn't help out at all. And we're gonna like talk about that like later on, where it's just like little things that like she was thinking is I wasn't a fan, that's all.
At times she came across a little immature.
Yes.
And
which she probably was.
She was young, but like
She's 22,
we've read characters that are a similar age to her that came across more mature. So that's I think where like if I compare her to other FMCs we've read, I'm just like, you're not on par.
I think go ahead.
I was gonna say it does feel more accurate to a 22-year-old though, in my opinion.
For me
that
too.
Makes sense. And
like, that's some crazy shit a 22-year-old would do.
You know, without thinking. That's true. I think for me, it came off like a little fangirly-ish too. Like she's a new fan of F1. Like she went to her first race like in Miami Grand Prix, so it's like a little bit of that. But like again, it's just a me problem. No hate at all, please. I promise.
Okay, so yeah, Isla, I ended up liking her though. Like Isla, I ended up liking her, kind of. I did. But honestly, who I ended up liking the most, just because of how candid they were, was her parents. I think there's something so realistic that we don't really have a lot of these books, which is parents saying, hey, maybe that's not a great idea.
Yeah.
Every parent I think that we've read has been like, yeah, you should date an F1 driver. Do it.
Always encouraged it.
Full send.
To be fair, I think Howard would encourage it.
Oh my god,
my mother would be freaking out. But
mine
I
would
loved it.
too.
My mom would freak out. My dad would be like, yes.
My mom would be
my
like,
dad's like, true love.
Yeah. My dad would be like,
that's your choice.
I just like it. I appreciate the reality of it. I also love that Mr. Foley is his name. Guys, this book is based in Miami Beach. If you live here in Miami, that name literally, what is the word? Flew at my face, because there's like a huge sign when you're driving on the Palmetto for like the law firm down here. So I'm just like,
gotta love the law firm billboards.
Does she live here?
Name. Yeah.
Like she has to live here. Like
or have been there.
Right. Because I was just like, hey.
I know here.
But I appreciate it. I'm glad her lawyer attorney father was like, maybe you don't risk your career to date a man that you just met. I think like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They were already like rushing into this. But I love it. Also, what I really like about her parents, and I guess this does also bring in her best friend, was it Haley?
Hadley? I think so.
Hadley. It's a very southern white person way of spelling Hadley.
Which you won't really find in Miami, but it was interesting. But I liked it. I really liked the relationship she had with her. It seemed very sisterly. I love the honesty that they had with them, like with one another, because at the end of the book, the friend was like admitting to her harsh feelings that she was having. But I just also love how her parents take care of her.
Yeah.
And
did you not like that?
Okay, I have feelings about that part. I don't know how to feel about it.
Can I say I think, because this is book 1 in a series, and we know we're getting another one. I think it was essentially the plot device to set up. I think Hadley will end up being either the third or
Xavier.
Whatever, like probably the third book. I think it was setting. It was
like
kind of a way
plot.
To set her on the course for her transition and her plot.
Because that was like the most she was in the story in like one monologue.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It was just weird to me. I felt like it was just like weirdly thrown in like right before she left.
I mean, I
feel like it was kind of realistic. Like your best friend is leaving and doing all these trend-setting things, and you're here like, I still live here and have no plans on anything else.
I think having a good friend where you like are honest like that is.
Yeah.
I also love that.
That's
and I also
friends
feel
like kind of hold it in.
I feel like jealousy within friendships is kind of like it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
Charlie CXC talks 100%. About this.
It's super like it happens all the time, but the fact that they were able to actually have an open and honest dialogue about it, like is really good, but I also feel like it was just realistic to include it.
It was realistic to include it. I also liked it because it also, I think, shows that, like, hey, you should be honest with your friends, and, like, it's not always going to be a huge explosion. Like,
Right.
you don't want to hold
Sometimes
these
you just
feelings
have to
in,
get it out.
you're just going to
Yeah,
get,
that's true.
it's just going to be resentment, and then it's just not going to be good. It's just going to spiral from there. Go ahead. I was going to say, I 1000% agree. I loved her parents. I thought they were great. It's very much reminds me of my own parents, where, like, my mother, my entire life raising me, she was like, never do anything for a man.
Facts.
Like,
Right.
don't go, like, do not follow a man to college. Don't follow him
Preach.
anywhere. Like, do not. It has changed.
Ladies, are you listening?
It has since changed to don't do that for anyone. We're being inclusive.
Love.
We love
True.
Yes, Mom.
But that's, like, a big thing that, like, my mom essentially just wanted to raise my sister and I to be independent and not rely, because men are going to disappoint you. Let's be realistic here. They're more likely to. And I had friends that ended up following guys to college, and what happened? They broke
They
up.
regret it.
No more
They
boyfriend.
regret it.
Yeah.
And they didn't follow.
Yeah.
And they gave up their dreams for a man, which you should not do. And that's kind of
Agree.
like, her parents were
Yeah.
very much like, hey,
Let's think this through.
let's think about this. Now,
Yeah.
I will say my parents at the end would have been like, all right, well, we tried.
Right.
Sometimes you just gotta, I mean, that happened with my actual ex-boyfriend, where my mom was like, I tried, she's gonna have to learn this lesson the hard way. And I did. I will also say, as someone married to a lawyer, analyzing every aspect and weighing all of the risks and different outcomes and all of that, and, like, being very questionable, or, like, questioning of it, very accurate. The only reason that man doesn't argue with me is because he knows I'm always right. Because I am.
And happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy
Exactly.
life. That's why we have 4 cats now.
Exactly. Period. Period.
I also love her best friend. We love
Yeah.
a bestie that supports our delusions, but also gives a good reality check when when necessary. Because she was very much like, Hadley was like all supportive, supporting all of the delusions, and then Isla was like, no, I need, like, analytical Hadley, and Hadley was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, so,
Okay, bet.
and yeah, like, went into it. Like, we love a bestie that can do it all.
Yeah, I really like their relationship. I also really love the relationship that Caleb had with his sister Catherine. Like, Rachel was mentioning earlier, they're so sweet together. And she's his assistant too. Like, I can't imagine working for my brother and not wanting to chop his head off. But Caleb also seems like a very structured person. So maybe he's not a pain in the ass to work for. But I would like her story. I think it is so sweet that she has, like, a crush on Mason, the other driver for the team. I feel like there's something
Yes,
very funny
I love
about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially with the whole, like, the trauma with her parents and, like, everything,
Yeah.
how it connects. I honestly think her book I'm gonna end up liking more than this one, just because of all of the intricacies, or whatever you want to call it, that's gonna go into it. Like, it looks, something about Catherine was so cute to me.
I really liked Catherine. I thought she was fantastic, and I thought she was a relatively accurate portrayal of a younger sibling. I say this as a younger sibling. You have the protective side, but also I absolutely will reveal your secrets to your new crush and your new girlfriend and tease you mercilessly about it side. I do think that was very accurate. I think that was great. I will say I also do not know how she doesn't bite her brother's head off as his assistant. I say this as a former executive assistant. It is not a job for the faint of heart. Granted, like you said, Chelsea, it could have been easier because he's structured and he's her brother, and also I feel like he's probably a little bit afraid of her, as he should be. I do hope we see her get her promotion soon. I think she definitely deserves it, but I do like that she doesn't want to use her nepotism to just get a job because she can. I like that she, like, wants to prove herself.
Yeah.
She's, like, biding her
I like
time.
that about
I do feel
her.
bad.
Yeah, same.
I do feel bad that she has to do it as an assistant because I hated that job.
I mean, I have to say I loved Catherine as a character. I think the fact that, like, Collins Motorsport is a family business and they've got the siblings working together is kind of just like really cute. I'm echoing what Rachel and Chelsea have both said. I'm so shocked that as a sibling, she was not wanting to absolutely beat the crap out of her brother working for him, because like that never tends to work in real life. Like I have seen it happen and I have seen it implode. So kudos to them for somehow managing to make it work.
Like I said, I think he's a little bit afraid of her, as he should be.
I mean, fair, very fair. I am keeping my fingers crossed that book 2 is Catherine, because I would absolutely love to have her as our FMC. There's something about her as a character that I really liked. I liked how supportive she was of her brother, but I also really liked how supportive she was of Isla. And like the whole, like even from like the minute we met her, where they overhear, I forget the sexist man's name because I blocked out his name as a character. I really liked the way that she was also standing up for Isla, in that sense of like she clocked the wrongness immediately. I loved her as a character. I think she was really awesome.
Catherine and Mason's book is next. It's at the end of the epilogue. Yes. There's a little blurb. It says that her book is next.
Yeah. No, I really liked her. She was like a fun, like little side character. I felt like she was just like, I'm an older sister, so like I get that fear of my younger sister blackmailing me. You guys just brought me back like flashbacks. But no, she was really like a good like sister, a good assistant, and like again, like Rachel had said, just echoing like that whole like she's like anti like nepo approach when it came to like her career. She was like, no, like I really want to prove myself. I like want to build up like my portfolio and whatnot. And it was just like really refreshing to see.
I will say, I really wish we had gotten more of a resolution and or actually really seen Caleb's parents. They're like mentioned, but like we never see him really interact with them or Catherine interact with them. And particularly, I wish we had gotten some moments with his mom, because I feel like all of his fears for Isla stem from his mother's experience. And I think it would have been really good to see Caleb talk that through with his parents a little bit. It felt like it was like there was something missing of like referring to their situation, but never actually bringing them into the book. But that's just my personal preference or personal take.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. I think if the book was a dual point of view, like Caleb and Isla, I think it would have been so beneficial, like for me.
I agree.
Right.
But like I think it would have been nice to just like learn more in depth about Caleb's past and like more understand like why he is the way he is, besides just like what Isla had Google search that one night.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like dual POV would have been.
No, it's okay. I was going to say what I think is going to end up happening is, because we know the second book's going to be Catherine, and Catherine's the one that has unresolved issues with her mom, that's when we're going to get to meet the parents and go more in depth. Because Caleb already forgave his mom and his dad. He did like nothing with them. So I feel like that's going to be more of a Catherine storyline, because I can't see her dating this man if she's still like in a bad relationship with her mom.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
So I feel like that's where we're going to hopefully see more. I hope. If otherwise, like, I feel like you're missing a good plot there.
Yeah. I feel like it's just like an important plot point to include as part of the series if you're going to keep referencing back to it. I feel like we have to talk about some of the lines, scenes, moments, what have you, from this book. There's one line that happened kind of early on in the book that both made me giggle and made me want to chuck my Kindle across a room, because it was just like I was not prepared for it. And this is a direct quote, people. If French toast could come in a language, I would be fluent. Foley, I can't with you. Don't ask me why that line took me out, but it did. I cannot deal. It was the most out of pocket, didn't see it coming, random line that I highlighted and I went, did I read that right?
It happens, girl. I felt that sometimes. I think the other thing is, sometimes it's just the character, like, I don't know.
I know. But it was cute
There was
because
something about the way that she like thought.
they tied it
Threw
in
me
because
off.
they had him have the kitchen staff make a bunch of
Right.
different French toasts the next time she was like in the paddock and in their hospitality, which was super friggin' cute. But like, I was just so perplexed.
I feel like it was more of a French just like a love language.
Right.
That would make more sense to me
Yeah.
because, to be fair, if Dr. Pepper was a love language,
Valid.
like, come on.
Yes.
I
Yes.
understand that. I will say, this is like a more of a reaction, but this is just me reacting. Okay, our homegirl again is a digital media worker, and she's doing this on her phone. Right? She's editing
How?
for work. A professional company, a professional network that has a website and viewers, and I'm assuming is alive with Formula One and stuff. And every time that would kind of pop into my head that this girl was doing it on her phone, I was just, because I do this for work. I do this for a living. I edit reels.
Sorry, your reaction
like,
to that was
when I was in college, I was on our news on our news team, and I would do all of the video editing for sports for like YouTube and stuff. Audio, B-roll, like clipping, all that stuff. You think I'm doing that on my phone?
I think
No.
she was the
On an
first one
iPhone?
on her computer. Because she talked about like looking at her computer, but I could be wrong. I don't really.
On the first one, she told Caleb, I have to go home and edit this on my phone.
Yeah.
And then
It
she
Because
was-
it
talked
pissed
about
me
being on
off.
her
I wrote it
computer.
down.
That's a lot of like trust in the phone.
Yeah.
No,
It's
truly.
just your fingers are so tiny, and then like
And
the
you can't get
clipping,
the
hard to
little
precise.
minnow- Yeah.
Yeah, and then like
I don't
again,
even like
Like, you
B-roll.
need
Like,
a mouse. You need a mouse for that shit.
I don't even like editing my
100%.
nail transitions on TikTok. It's so annoying.
It is.
exactly,
I can
it really
relate.
is. So, I will say, if you work in media and you do that for a living, you might get annoyed with it just a little bit. Just pretend she's on the computer, though. That's what I did for like after 20% of the book. I was like, you know what, you're on the laptop. Good reaction.
At least
though.
an iPad with an Apple Pencil.
Literally.
least.
iPad would have been nicer. That would have made more sense. To me.
Literally.
But something that did make sense, and I really appreciate this as someone that's obviously reviewing this book for people watching this. If you're like a new Formula One fan, I think you will find that she explains everything super well. And she also does it in a way that
Yes.
it's like the MC talking to us, the characters, but like as she's news reporting and as she's doing these storylines and stuff. So it's kind of like you're getting her news report, but you're getting the F1 information. So it's not like a definition, which is kind of nice too, because I feel like sometimes authors will do that too. They'll just like, this means this, instead of trying to integrate it into the story. But I like that. I like that she would do it into a broadcast recording. So if you are not an F1 fan and you find this episode for whatever reason, you will still enjoy this book. It is a great teaching lesson for newbies.
I like that as well. She also went a lot more in depth than authors kind of usually do in F1 books and in sports romances in general. I appreciated that level of detail. I also really enjoyed the fact that the opportunities that Isla was getting from the Downforce network was mostly within F2. Like, a lot of the stuff that they were sending her on was within F2. Like, she had a few things with F1 teams, but those came mostly from the team's media personnel reaching out to her as more of a content creator rather than someone working for the Downforce network. And it felt more realistic. And like then she was just like jumping right into major F1 reporting. And she said that too. I think she said like, because she did like an F2 grid walk, and I think Caleb had talked about like her doing it for F1, and she's like, oh no, I could not.
It's like a lot.
She's like, I'm not there yet.
Take this person's job at 2. I am not absolutely
Yeah.
not there yet.
Yeah.
And I liked that. That felt so much more realistic than
I agree.
a lot of
It was
like
way better.
it was, yeah. I will also say I thought it was really adorable, and this is a small spoiler alert. I know we've already spoiler alerted, but the way Caleb asked out Isla for the first time was with friendship bracelet, and I thought that was so sweet and endearing and adorable, and I'm going to choose to believe that he made the bracelet himself. You cannot convince me otherwise. I loved it.
He absolutely made those himself. It was, for me, it was the way he stuck with the friendship bracelet theme. Like, he didn't just make her one, he made her multiples. And I refuse to believe that he was like asking Catherine to do that for him. He absolutely went and bought the materials himself and was making it himself. Like, honestly, it's so cute. I'm sorry. If somebody asked me out with a handmade thing, I would fold so damn fast.
I feel like he asked Catherine, and she probably would have given him a look like, excuse you?
You're gonna do what?
I'll go get you the supplies. But you're doing that yourself, my guy. Like, I am not doing that. I might be your assistant. That is not my job.
I didn't like it.
No, what?
I also wasn't a big fan.
No, you guys didn't like the friendship bracelet? I thought it was so precious.
It was so cute. I also like.
It was so cute.
I didn't like
loved
it at all.
I thought it was so cute. I also
It
think,
just-
how is this written? Hold
I
on.
don't know.
It's
Oh.
just, it reminds me of like Candy from like, to me it'll forever be Candy.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I was
it's
thinking of
Yeah,
too.
no, I didn't
Not
make
Like
that
the little middle
connection.
school bracelets.
Yeah,
I
I used to make
So-
those all the time.
I did
I'm
for like when
thinking
I
Eras
was heavy in
Tour,
Raven,
like-
so.
I'm
I
like
figured
Eras
you guys were
Tour,
connecting
yeah.
it to Taylor Swift and
I
Travis
wasn't
Kelce.
even making the connection. I just thought it was
Not
cute.
even connecting
Full
it to Taylor
stop.
Swift. I mean, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, yeah, but I think that like it's just become such a big thing now. With friendship bracelets for everything, all of like different concerts, not just Taylor Swift. Like, it's really kicked off, and I thought it was like a very culturally relevant way to do that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I just don't care for that. That's all. That's just my opinion. I didn't like it.
Should have thrown Caleb's bracelet right back at him. Get this.
I would have been like, okay. But again, I am like in my
Stop.
30s now. So
Amy still wants a bracelet.
life is
Yeah.
different now. I mean, I like bracelets, but I mean, I guess it depends. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just me. But no, I do have a few like moments. I sent like the girls like screenshots of like the book. So the first one, Isla's watching a tens of race. I think it's like the first one, the Miami Grand Prix, or like it's the second one, and she's watching from like the media center, and she sees the close up of Caleb drinking water post race at the podium, with the close up of his piercing blue eyes.
Charles.
It gave Charles drinking
Yeah.
water last year in that close up.
If you know, you know.
Or
If you know,
there's,
you
Put that
know.
in my
there's
notes.
one of Max. There is one of Max from
Oh,
Miami.
see,
I think from the
no, I was
first
thinking of
Miami
Charles.
Grand Prix.
I was thinking of
But
Charles because
yeah.
Charles was like obnoxious with it, like in his
Yes.
face.
Well,
Like, so close.
the cameramen like to get up in Charles's face, and he's
I
just.
mean, I'm
not
kinda
complaining,
close.
so-
I'm not
Yo, that's
Yeah.
so funny though. I thought of
The
that too. I was like,
cameraman-
no.
really
They know
take
what to give
advantage of a
us.
Charles Leclerc podium. Let's be real here.
Mm, exactly. And I'm not complaining
I'm not complaining
about that. Now, second, this one, I almost stopped the book like completely at this part. It happens later on in the book where Isla is interviewing Xavier for like the Downforce Network and whatnot. And he's talking about like what he does to the side and how she's like, oh, like, you know, like you're a DJ. He's like, and I quote, I love to DJ. I love EDM music. I am so sorry you love electronic dance music.
It's like how DSW is called DSW Shoe Warehouse.
Or like
It's the
FYI,
equivalent
like
of
for
saying
your
a chai
FYI.
tea.
A chai tea,
Yeah.
non-bread. Yeah,
Yeah. I literally was just
can't-
like,
yeah.
I had to put my book down because I was just so like, I was so taken aback. I was just like, I just couldn't anymore. I really just couldn't.
Also clocked the EDM music, and I was like, I was waiting for Mel's reaction because I knew you were gonna have something.
And I did.
You did. See, no, I finished the book first of everybody in the group, and there was a line that again I wanted to yeet my Kindle across a room because it made me full body cringe. And I'm not even giving the full line because I can't. The whole line makes me cringe. Can we please ban the use of the word shatter in
When did
intimate,
she
spicy
shatter?
scenes? It was the most
Oh.
ick-inducing thing.
So
I was
Okay,
like,
wait.
I can't. I cringed. I was so uncomfy. I was like, that is not like, this might be a me thing, but you saying shatter in that kind of context is not sexy. I'm sorry.
So I have to admit something.
Mm.
I didn't read any of the smut scenes.
Girl, they weren't that spicy.
There were
Okay,
like
one.
so-
It was one, and that was included in the line, and I was just like, I can't. I can't.
skimmed.
I
always
cringed.
read over them.
I don't mind
I
smut,
figured it would be cringe.
but it was cringe. I don't mind smut, but that moment
I
made
think
me go,
smut
can we
is
please
such a
not?
hard thing to write. Like,
Agreed.
It truly
it's
is.
such a fine line. It's a
Yeah,
fine
Like
line.
yeah.
it really
there's
is.
some people that can make it
Fantastic, and some that
yeah.
don't.
not even fantastic, but just really go well into the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are other people where like they feel like they have to add it in because like they have to have a smut scene in their book. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't
Honestly,
feel it.
I feel like this book could have been a closed door. You didn't
I
need the open door
I
spice.
wouldn't mind if it was.
I would have loved
would've
a
not
closed
minded,
door.
I
yeah.
would've liked
I
it.
think
If
that's
you
would
like
have been
actually-
like a
so good.
build up or like kissing,
Yeah.
okay, cool. But like a build up and then a closed door,
Yeah.
love those.
Yeah. No, it was if you're someone like me who like gets icked out by certain phrasing
Yeah.
in smut, might I suggest you proceed with caution. Now we've kind of chucked in our hot takes throughout this episode, but we've got more people. I'm sorry. We can't help ourselves. I have to start out with the fact that I had moments where I felt like Isla's inner monologue felt really immature to me at times. To the point that there were moments where I really just wanted to shake some sense into her and tell her to grow the hell up. But yes, I know she's like 22, but it just like took me out of the story for some weird reason. I don't know how else to explain it.
For me, I agree with you, Amy. It's the sign. Like I've been signed so many times, like take a shot or whatever. If you're 21,
Tally.
of
Take
how
a
many
tally.
times?
I feel like if you take a shot, you might
take
end up on
a
the floor.
drink of water to hydrate. Let's hydrate ourselves,
let's
guys.
do that. Let's hydrate, y'all.
Let's hydrate
seriously,
ourselves
drink
for
a Dr. Pepper.
thirsty season of F1.
I mean, Bridgerton season 4 part 2 does drop in like 2 weeks. So
There you go. So her inner monologue, I'm with Amy. Like it definitely felt it felt very immature. I can't even like sugarcoat it. It felt a little like very immature to me. But again, the age difference. I'm like over like 10 years older than her. Beyond the point. It did feel at some times that I felt like I was like reading a diary entry of hers, just the way that like her like inner thoughts were like portrayed, like some of the things that she like, I don't know, it was just weird. And like some of the stuff that like her reactions and everything, like the all caps and the like
Yeah.
I'm so sorry again. Like I just every time I saw that damn I was just like, bitch, if you don't. I had
Love you so much, Mel.
Get it. I did overlook the caps thing because I was behind. For a second, I was behind Melissa reading, and then she mentioned the caps thing, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so I'll just ignore that." Moving forward. But I think what actually threw me off was Caleb had great banter, but her flirting style,
oh my god,
It was
a
weird as
little
hell.
weird, a little. I don't know. Like there was something, and this probably doesn't even make sense because it's such a young character, but it was a little Generation X. Like she was just like, I love a rugged man with like rough hands. I'm like, and it made me think of the basement yard where Frankie was literally saying when he was like in his middle school or high school years, he would tell girls I have scars because he's like that's what girls wanted.
love the
They
basement
wanted
yard.
rugged men.
I love
the
those
basement
guys.
yard. And that was the
You're
first
so
thing it made me think of. Like, okay, rugged man, and then like the neck thing. Like she was like obsessing a
The
lot about his
obsession with
big
his
neck.
neck.
Yeah.
And like, look, maybe this is a hot take. You guys can judge me. I don't like the big neck thing that the F1 people have going.
I don't mind it, but it's
like-
not like
I don't.
Yeah.
love it.
It's not a
funny
hyper
to me.
focus.
Right?
It depends for me.
this is the, what is it called? The piece de resistance? Whatever?
Yes.
What the was the Roo and Owl thing? I felt like I was watching Pooh Bear cartoon.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, thank you. That is what I told Amy.
And it wasn't good. It was not good. I hated it. The second they started using the nicknames, I was like, we need to move past this. We need to move past
Please
this.
throw it in a different language.
I don't know. I didn't like
Something.
it. And then,
If I remember correctly, because I just rewatching Bridgerton season 3, chouette is owl in French. Like,
Sounds
make it in
amazing.
a different language.
Yeah. Well, he's British. What is he gonna? He doesn't speak a second language.
He
I
could.
guess.
I mean, he might, but like we don't know that.
Oh, also alpha males.
Yeah.
Why did we
Yeah.
keep bringing up alpha males?
I can't.
I'm gonna be very honest. I glossed over that. So I don't get
It threw me off too. I don't mind a nickname based off of an animal, but those felt so awkward in my
They were
again,
odd.
make it in a different, like, change it to a different language. Make it like, you can make it cute that way. I feel like it felt just thrown in
Yeah.
and random.
I'm
Mel?
sorry, but when the girls saw my text message, when I saw her nickname for him, all I thought was season 2 of Euphoria when Maddie was like, Rue, when was this? I literally cringed when I was just like, ooh, like, why? Like, you could have stuck with the Maxwell, because I thought it was like a little like funny like inside joke, like it like
yeah.
thinking of the nickname. So I'm like, why didn't you just like make up a nickname for her like that, like a fake like middle name or like there's just such terror. And like Owl, Rue at least is like somewhat cute, but Owl, for
Rue
crying
says
out
we think it
loud,
was the Pooh Bear character.
cool. Like,
It ain't the one.
I'm sorry. I think what sucks is if it had just been Owl and then like her not giving him a nickname, it would have
and
worked.
just going on with the
The
Maxwell.
second she called him Rue, I was
Rue.
like,
Yeah.
She was like, because it's a kangaroo. I'm like, girl.
I was like,
say,
no.
I loved that Aven included the whole Maxwell thing of like Isla and Hadley coming up with a different name for him, because like if you're a girl who's dated, you know that you've done that. I have done that a million times.
Yep.
It's great.
I can't mention certain people to my friends without them being like, wait, who is that? And then I have to go be like, oh,
Literally.
this guy. And then my little will be like, oh, yeah, him.
Yeah. No, I love that, because that was so like girlhood coded that like if you know, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it so much. I do have to say, I think Caleb might be one of my favorite main male characters in an F1 romance, but shocker to anybody, not really a shocker at all, I'm forever a sucker for a man who yearns. So like, of course I liked him.
Same here. And he literally saved the book from a possible DNF.
Valid. I will say though, I really liked how Isla carried herself. Like, look, she was honest. She stuck to her word. I wrote this in like my notes on my phone, but I just really love that. Like, and it stood out to me because this is something that we on the podcast too do. Like, we'll do it too. Like, we don't like to spread gossip. We don't like to spread rumors. We don't like to assume like drivers' friendships, relationships, etc., etc. Because like that's not our place. And it was so refreshing to see that in the book, because I feel like sometimes people don't remember that. They don't care.
Yeah. They're people.
They're people.
They have lives that we don't need to know about.
Yeah.
Right. And like
lives are private for a reason. Just because we have a different amount of access to them than we normally would does not mean that they do not deserve their privacy.
Yeah.
Literally perfectly said. And I love that was in the story, because I was like, if you're gonna make your main character a news person, at least make her a great one. And I like that.
She was relatable. And for us as a group of people that are all kind of very similar
podcasters.
in our stance of like what we're willing to say or not say. Like, you've heard us talk about like, okay, allegedly X person is leaving their job and moving to a different team. That's one thing, but we never like speculate on someone's relationship status or anything like that.
Yeah, like this one cheated at this race.
Yeah, no.
We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, that's just not who we are. So I will say it was really nice to have a character that like felt like someone that could have been part of our group. because some of the other female characters definitely have fed into the drama in the past, which was really, really nice. Now, we are getting towards the tail end of our episode, so we do have to get into the things of, like, is an F1 fan going to like this book? Honestly, I would say that an F1 fan would like this book because the F1 moments that were included in the book felt really accurate, at least to me. Like, they felt true and authentic and real. But I also think that this book could be great for somebody who's just, like, a fan of chick literature or contemporary romance. Like, you don't need to be an F1 fan to like this book. But if you are an F1 fan who felt like other F1 romances were lacking on the accurate F1 portrayal, this is probably going to have more of that accurate portrayal that you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I enjoyed it. I feel like there's always points in all these books we read where I get annoyed with the main character, but I think it was really good. It was realistic. Nothing was dramatic. I do think it's funny that almost every F1 book we read has to have a major crash for the characters to realize they're in love. Whatever. Always. But besides that, I think you would enjoy reading this. I don't think it's for everyone, but I think if you're like into like the fluffy kind of reads, it's really cute.
I agree. But I also agree, is it truly an F1 story without a good crash? I mean, come on. We have to have at least one good crash. I definitely think it could be an F1 fan's favorite book, or at least like up there. I think it just, again, like Charles said, it depends on the kind of person. I really, really liked how accurate the F1 moments were. I think that was a big hit for me, and I think that would be a big hit, like you guys said, with other F1 fans. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm also a vibes person. And also the amount of fan fiction I read in high school, like, not a lot can faze me anymore.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to sound really mean for about 2 seconds. I'm sorry, I have to say it. I've read better fan fiction than this.
Yeah.
Like, if you compare it to some F1 fan fiction that's out there, it's like, there's some killer F1 fanfic out there.
There really is.
There are moments where this book, just for me, kind of felt a little short, but, like, I still think an F1 fan would like it. It just really depends on what you're looking for with your F1 romance.
Be honest.
Be blunt,
I'm gonna be
girl.
honest. I'm just trying to, like, figure out how, like, again, this is no hate to anyone. This is just my personal opinion. If you don't agree with it, it's okay. I don't think F1 fans would really like this book so much. Yes, the F1 side was pretty accurate with the explaining everything that I can appreciate. But romance side and, like, plot side, I feel like it wouldn't really mesh so well with some of, like, F1 fans. Maybe, like, ones that are, like, on the younger side, possibly. But again, I'm with Rachel. I'm a very big, like, if I vibe with it, like, I like the book, like, I don't care what anyone else thinks, I will be like, read it. This one, I'm just like, it just wasn't my vibe.
I will say, if I had to, like, put a character into the story, I still think there's a small comparison to George. I agree with Rachel. There's only so many British people I could compare him to. But it's something about also, like, the description of him, like the nice hair, like the way he holds himself, the kind of quietness, blah blah blah. Like, honestly, with that kid said though, like, these girls are just screaming for George. Though I get it, he has a big fan base. I feel like if you like George, you might kind of like the small little moments that remind you of him.
Like I said, George Russell is the quintessential British man. Like, he is. You think of a British man, if you know George Russell, you know George Russell. That's like what I told my friend who, like, the store that she was working at held an event for IWC watches, and George and Kimmy were there, and she's like, who are these people? And I was like, George Russell is the most quintessential British person you will ever meet in your life, and the other is a child. That's what I texted her. And she's like, okay, got it. And then I will say, now maybe this was just me, I got a little teeny tiny bit of Max, mostly from the hatred of the media, because like as we know,
Mhm.
Max is not the media's biggest fan.
No.
He really does not love doing it, but he'll do the fun silly things that aren't super serious. The guy just wants to drive and then get on his sim and drive
and go home to his cats.
Exactly. and his children.
And his children, exactly.
I also got a little bit of Pierre from the French driver. I think his name was like Adrian or whatever.
Yes.
But I think that may just be because they're both French. And Pierre, I feel like, would pull some shit like that.
I think he would too.
See, okay, Rachel has also inspired me, so I'm gonna follow along with me, people. Caleb kind of gave me a little bit of a mix of George Russell meets Lance Stroll, but when Rachel brings up his hatred of media, my brain automatically, instead of going Max Verstappen, went Kimi Räikkönen, because that man gave you nothing in pressers. I mean, absolutely nothing. He was a one-word answer kind of guy, and that was Caleb.
True, that's a good point.
He gave you nothing in the press conferences, so all I could think of was like, why am I getting Iceman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
true.
Yeah.
That also
that's really good. She called him an ice heart or something.
Yeah.
Or heart of ice or whatever was mentioned.
Yeah. Ice in his veins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
you're on point.
It's a little bit of like a dash of George Russell, a dash of Lance Stroll, maybe a little bit of Max Verstappen, and some Kimi Räikkönen just for funsies.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lance bit may also just simply be because it's a family team thing, not that Aston Martin is a Stroll family team, but his dad does own the team, so like the math does math. I don't know. I just physically, I don't know who he he didn't appear to be one driver in my mind, but like personality and like description wise, he's like a mash of those four in my head. I don't know. It's chaos.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you guys. He definitely was like a good like mixture of like different drivers, and I appreciate that it wasn't. I'm so sorry. That door like just scared me.
You have a
it
ghost.
wasn't solely like just like one the ghost of Christian. It just wasn't like one driver like like obvious inspiration. Yeah. But I will say Lando is 100% Xavier.
Yes.
American. Yeah, Xavier's American. That's like the only difference. And I think Xavier has tattoos. I don't think Lando has tattoos, does he?
I don't think so. It's just a DJ part.
One.
Yeah, no, I mean, I got the same, like, I got a similar vibe. I was like, this feels like Lando, but American.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I thought was interesting. Now, here's the thing. There is not anything F1 related that felt off to me. I feel like all of the F1 stuff was really accurate. It was really great. I guess actually there's one thing that felt off, and it was the overtakes in Monaco. Sorry. With the modern F1 cars, it's so hard to overtake. Like, we know this. We think a lot of people think Monaco is boring because you can't pass, you can't overtake in Monaco. The cars are too wide now. And I don't even think the drivers attempt an overtake unless it's very easy. And that doesn't really happen. Like, Monaco is all about qualifying. It's very boring.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a lot of hype around it, but now in this day and age, it's just not as exciting as it used to be. So when they were talking about overtakes in Monaco, I was like, that kind of pulled me out a little bit, because I was like, that's just not, it's just not, it doesn't happen. Like, yeah, there's red flags, there's yellow flags. That was accurate. People end up in the wall all the time in Monaco. But I was just kind of like, that didn't feel super believable to me. That was the only thing that I think, that was my only like F1 complaint. My other complaint, I had to take a minute. I had to take a breather. Amy knows
voice
this.
Notes.
The
voice notes.
I sent her like several 3+ minute voice notes on this because I was so agitated.
3 back to back.
I did. I was like, and this is not about F1. This has nothing to do with the Formula One side of things at all.
Zero.
I have to talk about it. When Isla in the book, Isla gets a like sponsorship or like a brand partnership with a designer from Monaco, from Monte Carlo. And so when she went to the event, she obviously wore their designs, and she talks about she's wearing a zebra print sequin mini skirt. I do not judge what others decide to wear. If you like it and it is not offensive or insulting or like anything to anyone, by all means, wear whatever makes you comfortable, wear whatever makes you feel confident. However, there is not a high-end designer in my mind from Monaco that would have a zebra sequin mini skirt in their collection. Not even like a silk one.
No.
Ever. I could potentially maybe see a A-line midi-length zebra linen skirt as part of like a set. But that is, I literally had to take a break. I had to take a break. I couldn't do. My degree is in fashion. This is literally, I love this. This is my thing. I can't get, that is the one thing that I could not get over. And then she also had another part where she was wearing like a red and white top with a navy skirt. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just make it a set? Make it a red and white top set with like matching pants or a matching A-line midi skirt, for the love of like, and make it linen. You're in Monaco in May. You're going to be wearing linen or cotton.
Yeah.
There's like no other fabric that you're going to be wearing.
Wish we could plug in the voice notes I got from Rachel.
I fully crashed out about it.
Baby girl was irate.
I literally have no fashion notes. I was just cackling on the floor when I was reading through the notes, and I saw this is what Rachel wrote.
That was the first note
I thought the same thing, but I was just like, maybe like I don't know fashion over there, but
I may have to send you guys the voice notes that Rachel sent.
I felt the same way as Rachel. I was just like an animal. Like I literally was just like, are we like in the 2000s right now?
Yeah,
that's how I felt.
No, I literally was like, I haven't seen a zebra print anything in about 15 years.
Also, when she was wearing she wore a polka dot peplum top with jeans, and I have
oh my god, yes, the peplum top.
I have to assume that they were skinny jeans, because you wouldn't, I mean, you could wear a peplum top with either a straight leg or a wide leg jean. You could make it work, but most people don't because of the like proportions and stuff. But I was like, I mean, it's a choice. It's better than the zebra print mini skirt. I will give it that. But I was like, okay. I'm not mad about it, but also I have a personal beef with strapless tops because I can't really wear them. They don't stay up on me.
Oh, I love them.
Girl, I hate them with a passion.
I hate them.
Really?
I'm busty. They never stay.
Well, no, you are busty. I was
it
not
does not work.
I love
them either, and I still can't really wear them. I don't know what it is. They like, I just can't make them work. I love them. I see the stuff all the time that's strapless that I am obsessed with, and I can't. I'm just like,
I have some strapless things, but like it has to be fitted the right way. It needs to also be the right kind of material.
Yeah, that's fair.
Some things don't work.
Strapless and off the shoulder.
I do like an off the shoulder, but normally I do that as a sweater. Honestly, if I have to do an overall rating for this book and my overall thoughts, honestly, for me, the book is somewhere between like a 3.5. The more I think about it, the more I realize the main thing that I liked about the book is just simply Caleb. I feel like I was missing a level of depth to Isla that just was really hard for me to overlook. I will say, I think if the book had been like a teeny tiny bit longer, we would have had the opportunity to touch more on things and have a little bit more depth just all around. But this is also just me trying to stick to my goal that I set of being more critical about the books that I read this year, because normally I am someone that like, I don't go below a 3, and I'm trying to just be a little bit more critical. Sorry, not sorry.
Honestly, this one for me, 3.5, 4. Like, were there some moments where I was like, I still ended up liking it beyond those moments. I also did read most of this book after a couple glasses of wine with my mom on Valentine's. So
I love that.
maybe that made the experience better because I
Mm.
you know what, y'all could judge me for this. I cried a couple tears.
No, there were
Just
moments
a little
that
bit.
definitely made me a little emotional.
I
I'm
was like,
judging.
oh my god, okay. You know what? Judge me because I enjoyed it while I was reading it. And I'm crying laughing right now because Melissa's text is making me laugh. But you know
I
what?
saw that and I was like,
Chris, I like happy endings. I like when I'm reading a romance that I'm gonna get something cute, fluff, and like nice because there was
Yeah.
really no third act breakup either.
Hallelujah.
We complain about that because sometimes they
All the
just
time.
yes, sometimes they're good and I feel like they're done so well. We've seen some authors hit it well, but sometimes I'm just like, this was unnecessary. You created drama and now we have to rush and close it off, and now it
Yeah.
feels like things are loose ended. So I like that. Yeah, there was, I guess, a third act argument,
mhm.
but it was fixed in like what, a page of talking.
Pretty much.
So great fluff read. 3.5 4. Don't expect anything that's like life changing, but it's a really great what is that called? Comfort read?
Yeah,
Cozy
like
read?
a little fluff
Yeah.
read. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would also say it's like a 3.5 or 4 for me. The vibes were good. I like a good vibe within a book. I agree with Amy. I feel like it needed a little bit more depth. We got a lot from Caleb, which I liked, but I feel like Isla needed a bit more. I think this book would have been really, really good as a dual POV.
Mhm.
I feel like that, and maybe it's because I read a lot of dual POVs as far as like sports romances go, but that I feel like just would have worked better.
Yeah.
I did really love the attention to detail. That's not something you see a lot in sports romance, and I said that earlier, and I appreciated that a lot. I also enjoyed the lack of a third act breakup, which is not to say that I hate one. Like Chill said, they can
I
be done
hate
really
it.
well, but sometimes they feel unnecessary. I feel like I wish there was maybe a little bit more conflict, but also at the same time, with everything kind of going on right now, having like nice light, there's not a lot of stress kind of situation is really nice.
For the millionth time, I'm glad I'm done with this book. I just didn't vibe with it. Yeah, Lexi has to agree with me. I personally think the book could have been a bit shorter than almost 400
Really?
pages. Again, it's just Isla's inner monologue. Like a lot of it just felt like it was just like I didn't need that much detail about what you ate or whatever, or Caleb's neck. So, but for me, it's a solid 2. It just wasn't for me.
It wasn't the one for you, and that's okay.
Yep. And that's okay. Hey, who knows? Maybe book 2 will be for me because I do like Catherine. So who knows?
Now, before we officially say goodbye and fully close this book out, I gotta say, y'all, I'm really happy. Cars are back on track with preseason testing. Drive to Survive comes out on the 27th.
Oh my god.
We are so close to the beginning of the season. I cannot wait. We've got some more we've got more testing coming up this week, I think. It's so exciting, and it's so great because I personally love new regulations because of the absolute just
Chaos.
that ensues. I love it. I'm so excited to watch more chaos happen, and hearing the drivers talk about these cars right now is just, it's so great.
It's just testing. It is just testing.
But still.
I don't want to get my Delulu 2 up as a Tifosi.
Oh, I can't. Everyone's like, oh, it's not going to be I'm sticking with the fact that it's not going to be our year until the end of the season, and actually.
I don't really have the best expectations for Williams right now, so
I don't think anybody has the best expectations for any of the teams right now.
Vibes.
Except Audi.
Just straight vibes.
Cadillac also seems to be doing okay.
True.
We will have to see.
We'll see.
But all right, besties, that is the finish line for today. Thank you again to Aven Ellis for giving us copies of Lights Out. where the engines are loud, the tension's higher than a turn one dive, and the romance hits harder than a late race safety car. Now, be sure to be on the lookout for next week's episode where we are interviewing Abby Forlich, SCCA Pro F4 racer, V-Champ Open Wheel Electric Series driver. We are so excited for this one. And don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, whatever you're doing on your favorite streaming platform. Everywhere we are Paddock Girls Podcast, Instagram, Threads, YouTube.
Everywhere.
TikTok, literally everywhere. And then slide into our DMs. Leave a comment on your hot takes from this story. And while you're at it, be sure to leave a comment. We would love to share it with everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.